everybody. Welcome to Awesome Comics, your one-stop shop for everything comic book entertainment. I'm your host, Walter Bernaziak, and we are doing a very special episode today. It is worst comic book movie. We got some good choices here, I think, I'm pretty sure. Before I introduce these guys, I want to remind you guys, as always, to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/awesomecomicshow. We have new exclusive videos that go up in there every single Thursday, and I think we're going to have a couple. Everything's falling apart.
I'm just kicking Doug.
Yeah, thanks. We're going to have, I think, might have a couple Facebook exclusives going up this week, so make sure you like the Facebook page for those. So let's get into the intros of our panelists today. We'll go with the guy to our right first, Mr. Doug Walker. How's it going, man?
Good. I am so excited. It's almost like bad movies is my thing.
Right? Yeah, we're going to dig into these terrible movies really quickly. But Anna Wade.
Hey, what's up? That's me. So excited to talk worst
Should be high.
movies.
Right?
What's on your shirt there? You got some...
This is my 8-bit Marvel
Nice.
characters, keeping the streets safe.
That's awesome.
Yeah, this is a little
really
boy's
adorable.
t-shirt. I bought at a thrift store for $2.
I love when you can do that. Oh my gosh, I love
Yeah,
when that
I wear
happens.
little boys' clothing.
Love
When
it.
they start selling stuff in women's section, I'll start shopping out of the women's section.
I wear women's clothing all the time. You just can't see it.
See, we just traded wardrobes.
Yeah, I mean, I think I look great.
So you get exclusive things on Awesome Comics
You
you never
wear-
find anywhere else.
Macklemore wears my grandfather's clothes. I wear my baby cousin's clothes.
What's going on, Heather? Heather,
You remember
It has. But there's only 2 days next week.
Oh, Thanksgiving.
Anyways, Thanksgiving.
Hey.
Yeah,
that's happening.
Thanksgiving's next week, so.
Exactly.
I'm
Okay.
excited for that.
Well, this week, because it's going up on a Monday.
Monday,
Yeah.
yes, this week, yes.
Exactly. Okay, well, we're going to get into these movies right now. Okay, who wants to go first? Let's see. Who's got the tiger today? Who wants to...
I'll do it.
Done.
I'm not because I know everyone's going to be like, oh, I know what this is. You don't. Okay, you don't.
You think you know me.
No, everyone think I'm going to do Batman Robin, and I'm not, because Batman Robin at least had an impressive set, and it looked nice. It wasn't Batman, but it looked nice, and it was impressive to see. I'm going with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 3. Oh yeah, because I've never met a single person who could defend anything in this movie, especially coming off the heels of the first two, particularly the first one. A lot of people didn't like the second one, but this third one has nothing to do with anything that's like Ninja Turtle related, except the one thing I'll give it brings back Casey, and then it totally doesn't use him. You know, it just totally craps on him. The animatronics, as someone that loves puppets and Jim Henson, especially Jim Henson, hate the animatronics in this. I mean, you could practically hear the mechanics going as they're talking. The acting is terrible. The effects, I mean, it's like, dude, you already cut the budget on these turtles. Can you make the effects better? They travel back in time. Stupid. The villain is a guy that has like a bird cage, and that's dumb. Yeah, like his whole thing is like, oh, my birds. It's like, this is turtles.
I remember like stuff's burning down, like his house or something's burning down, and then he goes back in to get his bird. And I was
Yeah. Which is like, I mean, the diabolical bastard? I mean, what? And it's one of those, there's so many famous bad scenes that have come from this with like, again, with him falling off the cliff
and he just
then
disappears.
he turns into an iris.
Yeah,
Like
right.
it just zoomp like that. I mean, it's
Terrible.
amazing when that so easily could have been avoided. I mean, you could just cut away and they're just like, ooh, they give that reaction, but no, they'd iris it out.
Yeah.
The lines
They did.
aren't funny. You know, I'm not gonna act like the first Turtles film is a masterpiece, but you know, it had atmosphere. It was
A
funny.
lot of people like that first.
Yeah,
film.
no, and I can see that. And I like it too. I can't defend it as like, hey, this is a great comic book film, but I really like it. And they're
Right.
trying so hard. They're not trying in this film, man.
You could
They're
tell.
just like, just give them a kid's film. We don't care. This is the last time anyone's gonna see anything turtle related, I'm sure. And they're still making turtle-related stuff, but
Right.
yeah, but this was like the Batman Robin of turtle films, pretty much.
I understand.
And yeah, there's just nothing redeeming in it whatsoever.
I understand. Do you remember the live action show that came on? I can't remember what channel.
All
Fox
I
or
know
something?
is that there's a female,
There is a female
turtle,
Yes.
and
I
like,
watched
light
that.
light blue, and she's got
yeah,
like a braid
which is like
in
there's
that.
no other colors. You ran out
Right.
of colors, and then it's
Exactly.
like I remember they gave her breasts too, which is right. That was like around the Yeah, it's
Under the
like,
shell.
yeah, which always, every time I see that, I'm like, what do the male turtles have? Don't make me think this show. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, it's like, yeah, it kind of reminded me that too. I'm just like, oh, okay, well, and this came out after Ninja Turtles 3. This really, really figures.
Right,
Yeah.
and they crossed it over with the Power Rangers in space at that point, so this was interesting. I remember that episode. I was
Yeah.
like, this is cool.
I feel like I'm supposed to like this, but I
think
can't.
I have questions. I have so many questions.
Yeah, it was just very strange how they crossed over those two properties.
Yeah.
But do you think that the animatronics in the third Turtle movie are worse or on par with that TV show from what you remember?
From what I remember,
Because they did have the animatronics in the moving of the mouse and stuff.
yeah, like it's really hard for me to remember the TV show. I'll just say I hate the Turtles film the most. I'll just say that's worse. Just because I want to hate it. It's why I'm here. It feels good to say.
I totally understand. Okay, Heather.
Okay.
Anger makes you strong.
Initially my gut, and I told you guys this, initially my gut was maybe Green Lantern.
Sure.
But then I went home and I thought about it, and this movie was so bad I buried it in the back of my memories. It is. I did. I repressed the memory. It is Catwoman.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Halle Berry film.
Halle Berry.
It was just like, I had forgotten. I went back and rewatched it. It's on Netflix, guys. If you
Is
ever
it?
Oh my God.
relive the horror of this film, it's on Netflix.
Wow.
So I went back and rewatched it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I forgot what a dumpster fire of a movie this is. Like, everything about it was just awful. Like, my first gut reaction again was like the costume. Oh my gosh, Halle Berry's dominatrix like ripped jeans
It
of a
seems
costume
very lazy.
was awful.
I remember when they first showed they showed the costume in this magazine. I'm just like, no, where's the real costume? Come on,
Right.
like that can't be it. That
Going for it.
can't.
Well, and they tried so hard to justify it, like, oh, well, she had this black leather outfit that her friend bought her as a Christmas or birthday gift or something. That, like, she was, as like an impetus to maybe dress a little bit edgier, and she's like, oh, now I know what I'm gonna do with this. Cut. Put some belts on it. Like, it was, and then some of the CGI that they used to like enhance the way that she was moving. Oh,
that's right.
Oh, did they do that? I don't
Yes,
know.
it
There's this
I never watched
weird
that whole
360
movie.
walk,
And they, like,
yeah,
moved her hips?
and they they
Yes.
CG.
And
Her arms
so
like this. Yeah.
clearly CGI, like they weren't even trying. It's so clearly CGI. It is worse than like Enchantress and Suicide Squad, and that was pretty bad.
On par with
Like,
that, I would say that's pretty similar, actually.
well, I mean, except in 2005, so it was,
Well, I think because
like-
wasn't The Matrix coming out? I think those 360 shots were really
Yes.
popular, so
Yes.
they wanted to do that. It's like, oh, well, now we can do that with anything. Let's do it with Halle Berry. And people be like, how did we get the camera to swing around? And everyone's like, you didn't. You
Yeah.
clearly didn't. You just did the CG thing.
Right, it was awful. That
Oh,
bothered
boy.
me so much. I mean, the characters were super one-dimensional. The
Right.
villain was super lazy and just kind of had odd
Is it
motivations.
Sharon Stone is the villain?
Yeah, I mean, like eventually, like it starts
eventually.
off with like the
like a
lead of.
cosmetics
I mean, I
queen or
guess
something?
spoilers, guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
because
I-
nobody would be able to guess this.
It's okay if you don't see it. I'm not
never
gonna
saw
judge
it.
They're
you.
making cosmetics that makes you look younger,
Yes.
but then over time it actually makes you
It
look
degrades your
older.
skin
Yeah.
if you stop using it.
Right.
But like
Oh.
for some reason, it also like if you use it a lot, makes you faint and like have headaches and nosebleeds and weird things like that. But then
Terrible.
inexplicably, like the woman villain has been using the cosmetic so long, it actually like turns her skin like steel or
Metal?
something
Yeah.
like that. Like metal.
That's why she tries to punch her,
goes
it's
to
like,
punch her, and she's
"Pong."
like,
What?
ah, yes. If you use it long enough, it turns your skin into this kind of metal. Of course.
She's like, makeup!
Of course.
Of course,
So
makeup!
then, like, you see her like literally bathing herself in it. So then it totally
my God.
justifies when Catwoman goes to fight her that she's like never hurt because they're like fighting and she's like, yes, it makes your skin impenetrable. You can't even feel it. Yes. And you're
It
like,
would've-
what?
That sounds. It kind of would have been cool if they did like a female version of Clayface or something. From what that sounds.
Yeah, that
like.
would've
Yeah,
been kind
oh
of neat.
man,
Yeah.
yeah. Lost opportunity. Lost
Yeah.
opportunity.
Really.
I think
Like,
we can agree though. This is the best movie based on a cat that breathes on a woman and brings her back to life. I mean, I just haven't seen one better.
And she's a cat god. She's basically Egyptian cat goddess person.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And then there's like that
Terrible
weird
origin.
old woman who keeps all of the Egyptian cats herself. And she's just like, oh yes, like I can't remember the cat's name. I don't know. It was just so contrived. Like,
Yeah.
And so the cat like brought Halle Berry to her place, and she was like, "Oh, you've brought someone home to me this time." It's so weird.
My
The
favorite
plot
line
is
that whole
just-
thing is from her because she's saying, like, she's explaining, yes, you are this cat goddess that's been passed down from woman to woman. They actually call her, you are a cat woman,
Yes,
a cat woman. And, you know, it keeps going on and on. It's like, yes, I've discussed these theories, you know, to my, schools and the board and everything. Male academia. I'm like, yeah, that must be it because this really sounds really credible.
It's the men that's the problem.
Yes.
Your crazy, crazy little brain.
Why won't anyone believe me about cat women? Clearly sexism.
Not your
Must be
slow degradation into insanity. Right. I mean, the whole plot was just
Egyptian cats. Sure.
the
Okay.
whole plot was just lazy and all over the place. And it's so weird that for a Catwoman movie, they never mention anything in the Batman universe. Nothing. We don't even, they don't even specify that it's in Gotham. Like, we can't even get any of that, which, I mean, I guess it's good, because then it's not officially, I guess,
It's
part of the
not
Batman
canonical.
world.
It's
It's
like-
its own little just
it's
shit
like-
show of in and of itself.
Right? It's
But,
like this and like Jonah Hex, it feels like.
Oh, yeah.
Are these weird offshoot DC character movies that have no tie-in whatsoever with anything else. Jonah Hex you could justify a little bit more because it's in the Wild West and all
Right,
that. And,
right.
he doesn't interact with too many other characters. but
Catwoman's like a
Catwoman-
major
Catwoman is in there.
Batman
Yeah.
character, yeah.
Right.
Well, and I was saying before, one of the interesting things, the way this came about is that Burton, from what I understand, was supposed to direct a Catwoman movie after Batman Returns because he liked the character, thought they was fun, and Michelle Pfeiffer liked it too. But they never got a good script, and then he went to direct other stuff, and well, we still got Pfeiffer, and then she kind of left, and it's like, well, okay, well, we still like this idea, and they kept passing scripts and actresses and stuff, and finally it was just table scraps. Just get it out there. We've put too much time to this. Just get it done.
Yeah.
And so finally, it's so far away from anything Batman, what it was originally supposed to be, that they're just like don't connect it at all. to
Then why
Batman.
make it?
No, it
It's
doesn't-
what-
it
like,
doesn't
is,
make
is
sense.
Catwoman at
Why
that
just
point
scrap
really
it?
Right.
a big name just put out as a solo movie? With,
It didn't make sense. It didn't even make sense at the time for it to be released. Like, it was just, I mean, I did go to see it. I'm not gonna
This is, I never,
I
I've
saw it
never
in
seen
theaters.
it.
Yeah, I saw it with
saw
my
it
best
in
friend. I was like,
theaters.
okay,
Ooh.
maybe this will be fine, guys. Maybe it'll be fine.
You really
Maybe it's gonna
couldn't
be-
tell?
Maybe. I mean, I was
denial.
also like,
I went to go see it with
in
my
high school,
dad,
so.
and I remember when the Catwoman like title was dropped, he went meow,
Oh
and
my
the
gosh.
whole theater laughed, and we were like, "Don't encourage him."
Some of those lines too, where like Halle Berry is like, it was just perfect. The purr goes on way too long.
Yeah, you're like, "We got what you were doing. We needed like half a second of it." Yeah.
Like, we didn't need that.
Wait, this came out
It's
when?
just-
2005?
I believe it was sometime
'Cause
around 2005.
It had to be before that because
Batman
Batman Begins came out in 05.
I don't know.
So
Oh, yeah,
So
you're
like I don't think
right.
they would have released those
Maybe
in the same
01.
year.
I don't know.
I don't know, we'll
Someone,
double
someone on
check
the
that,
internet
but-
correct me because you're good at that.
I'm
so.
sure they've done it already. They've done it already.
They already corrected you.
Yeah, right. And then
Guys
someone in
are
the comments has
It's
already.
already done.
Yeah.
I just don't even care to know when it was released. That's all.
So, you know
Oh,
what?
hair flip.
Don't even
should I
care.
put I might put the sound effect in there.
Yes,
The Taylor
yes. The Taylor hair
Sorry.
flip.
The Taylor hair flip.
I got a
yeah.
little too
Everyone flip your
excited
hair.
about that.
I don't know. Well, it's getting there. Yeah, I was gonna
Fun
say
editing.
it's fine. It's fine. I saw this, like not the full movie, but I saw clips of it only like on FX.
Okay.
This is the one I saw.
okay.
Because FX has the movies, as we all know.
Right, right,
So,
obviously.
so yeah, that was the only time I saw part of it, and I was just like, I can't even get through this. Like, I can't.
It's so boring.
Yeah.
I don't blame
I
you.
couldn't get
Except
through
for
it.
those crazy funny scenes. There's like, it's super boring, and then just this crazy what the hell scenes, but then you
my
gotta wait
gosh.
through all this boring green.
It was so like for the first
shame.
half, like first hour of the 45 minutes of the movie, she's not even Catwoman.
Yeah.
And like the character that she is, Patience, is so
Patience.
boring.
She's not even Selena
She's
Kyle.
not even Selena
Yeah.
Kyle.
Yeah.
She's
What
the
Patience.
hell is
And she's like, so just like meek and
Oh yeah, the like terrible meek character that
my
they gave her
gosh,
too.
yes. It's awful.
Wasn't
Well, and
Michelle
then they
Pfeiffer's
don't
kind of
even-
like that, right?
Yeah, but she can play it well.
Then the
Right.
weird thing is they don't even specify because when she first comes back to life, she like has these weird blackout sessions when she's Catwoman. She like they go with this thing where she doesn't even remember what she does. She like goes and does this whole jewelry heist and then wakes up as Patience and is like, oh my, I stole things. She like actually returns it in a brown paper bag to the crime scene with an apology letter. It's ridiculous. And then the cop almost identifies her because
Sounds awful.
she writes sorry on the bag and then she's like dating the cop. She's dating the
Oh.
cop a little bit. And then she
Oh,
writes
it's-
sorry on the
Dude from
latte and
Doctor
he's like,
Strange. Whatever his name is, yeah.
this is the same handwriting. Like, it's,
Right.
oh my gosh, it's ridiculous.
It couldn't be that incredible first mask she wears, but only covers like her eyelashes and that's it. And like, who was that?
Right. But then, like, they never go on to explain, like, is it a blackout state then when she's Catwoman? Or, like, does she somehow gain control of the Catwoman inside by seeing the crazy cat lady? I don't know.
Patience. Maybe we'll find out.
That's a joke the movie would make.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
See?
I'll give you that one. I'll give
Exactly.
you that one.
Okay, well, Turtles 3 is pretty bad. Catwoman, maybe worse. And let's go into Ayana's pick. What is it?
Now we went from flaming pile of garbage to I would say flaming pile of garbage.
Big
I'm
word.
talking about Fantastic Four.
Which one?
Exactly! That is not a good sign for a franchise when you don't even know which one is terrible. I honestly had a really, really difficult time trying to decide which one's worse. The 2005, number one, where like either that one, I'm not talking Silver Surfer, that one, or the new 2015 one.
Fantastic.
Fantastic, yeah. Yeah.
Which did you pick?
I picked the new one, and
agree.
only by like the slimmest of margins, like the slimmest of margins.
Okay.
It was really difficult. The first one was terrible because of mostly Jessica Alba and the like fake out nude scenes. That was just
Oh, yeah,
so
that's right.
grating. I had to rewatch them because I honestly couldn't decide which one.
I had to
was
rewatch him too, but
her
no.
character was underwritten. It was just not good. It was not good. However, I've also seen it multiple times and like didn't want to kill myself. Whereas the new one is like painful. I think they wanted it so bad to be Chronicle and like this dark, like gritty, like Fantastic Four. Like it felt like they wanted it to be this epic space sci-fi horror almost. And like, I don't know, at that point, then just embrace it and go all the way. Don't try to take it back in the last 5 minutes and throw in some jokes because then you're like, what? Everything just felt so unearned in that movie. It was so inconsistent, even like their powers later. I liked the origin of the powers actually. The horror of like
The
them
green
like
mist,
being
whatever it
on.
was, the guy?
Okay, yeah, no, like when we're seeing them like gain their power, like just
Oh,
after
we've seen
that.
them develop,
when you
okay.
see them like develop, when the like legs stretch out, or when Johnny's like on fire, just on a table in like a lab, and just like laying
Just
there like
yelling
burning
in
and
pain.
screaming.
Right.
Oh my gosh.
Horrifying and actually intriguing. Like, you're just
Wow.
like, this is terrible. I kind of want to watch more of this.
Yeah.
Or Dr. Doom, which we don't even get until the last 15, 14, 13 minutes of the film.
Yeah.
And it's an hour and 15-minute film, folks.
Is
Hour
it
and
only?
Is
15
it
minutes.
really?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I-
Guess
It's
it
on
feels so much
HBO,
longer.
by the way. You can watch it on HBO. It's screaming. If you, screaming.
You will be.
Watch me! That was amazing. And not.
That was really creepy what just happened here.
You guys
okay?
are really mind melding.
Yeah, that was like the same laugh.
Cheers, Ayana.
Good job, guys.
You're sipping the same? This is creepy, man.
Screaming
Gotta
on
stop
HBO. But yeah, the Doom isn't until like the last like 15 minutes of the film
Right.
basically, and his powers. I kind of like the moment when he's like exploding heads in the hallway.
Yeah.
Not like the feel of like Fantastic Four, but really cool. It was almost like 11 from Stranger Things, I would say.
Yeah,
like
but
just
what did-
just explode them. But then in the final battle that when he's going up against the Four, he like has to do hand-to-hand combat and like throw rocks at them and stuff. And we were like, you have mystical
Wait.
abilities. What the hell are
Dr.
you doing?
Doom, a guy named Dr. Doom is just throwing rocks.
Like he's
Wow.
like just picking up rocks and throwing
Throwing
at them with his powers.
Not
yeah.
even with
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like he picked him up and it's like,
But, like, and then
That'd be
he's like
amazing.
he's like holding Reed Richards like hands and he's like stretching out and stuff. Like it's hand to hand. And it makes absolutely no sense why he
weird.
would gain these powers. And then he's like, but now that we're on this planet that gave me all of my powers, I resort to being terrible again. I don't, like, it's just so inconsistent.
The story behind Fantastic is pretty ridiculous because I know that Josh Trank had a specific vision and it was like that dark and gritty
like
thing.
Chronicle. I know a lot of
Kinda
people
like
compared
Chronicle.
it to
I mean,
that.
but Max Landis was as involved in Chronicle as Josh Trank was, so I'm not sure if Josh Trank was going full Chronicle, you know what I mean?
Right.
But it was supposed to be like a darker thing, and they were trying to build up the relationships more, which I appreciated.
They
like,
did though.
Yeah,
they
at the
really
beginning,
did at the beginning. Yeah.
But then, but everything after the 1 year later title that came up, you could just tell everything was completely different.
They did a bunch of reshoots too,
They
though.
did a
That was
ton of
part of the
reshoots.
problem. And you can tell. I was actually warned about freaking Kate Mara's wig, and I still
Oh my God!
couldn't stand it.
I was like,
it's so bad.
Are we supposed to buy this?
It's so bad.
yeah, buy it at a store. Buy the wig at the store.
Yeah, this is an advertisement for a wig.
Product.
Like it's not even near the same color.
No, if
like,
you want product
my
placement, you
gosh.
go watch the 2005 Fantastic Four.
Yes!
That's your product placement.
Yes.
her hair's like dark blonde, like naturally in the
Yes.
movie. Not naturally, I think.
It's
dyed or
dishwater
whatever.
blonde,
right.
and she has a lob. It's similar.
Right. Mm-hmm.
It's like a little shorter than mine, and it's straight. I have mine curled tip, but it's like got a little bit of like texture to it, but it's like this. And there's two different wigs actually.
There's two
one.
wigs?
Yes, there's two. There's one that's like that, and I think it's lace front, but like the part is different, and you can
She
tell
has like a
it,
hair that is in her face.
Yeah.
I remember.
We were
Then
talking more
there's-
about wigs than I thought we would on this. I'm not gonna lie.
That's what you get when you get the cosplayer.
No, but this was a big thing that
But
was so obvious.
then there was the ponytail one
Yeah.
with the two strands
Yeah.
in
Oh,
front.
I saw.
Remember
Okay,
that.
I've seen pictures
and
of
it
all
was
this. Yes.
awful.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was
Yes.
shocked that they were. This was like in a major like how would like have her wear like a
It
baseball
was
hat
on
or
par
something, be
with
better
the
than this.
newest season of Arrested Development and their terrible wigs. Like that was bad too.
Yeah.
Like it was bad. I don't understand who
How we even got past any
kind, but it wasn't.
Yeah.
See, it wasn't even
department
just that
standards.
because then. Michael B. Jordan was filming Creed at this time, so he had his goatee and everything. So he just had a goatee, like at some points, and it was just like, what is going on with this guy?
The continuity made absolutely no sense, and then like
Terrible.
the plot was inconsistent. Like it was like a jumble of a bunch of stuff, and they went, edit it together, it'll be fine. Although Michael B. Jordan, I loved.
We'll fix it in post.
I felt
The
bad for
actors
him.
in general felt like good actors just trapped in
Exactly.
this script
You're
because
right.
they were good.
I think if they would have went through with Josh Trank's original vision before this, because this was the studio going back and like, we can't do this, and Fox doing
Yeah.
their Fox thing. Fox
Right.
is, Fox
Being
is gonna
afraid
Fox.
of the fans.
Exactly.
Reaction.
Fox is gonna Fox.
Yeah, so it's still a miracle that they got Deadpool. I have no idea how they did that. But,
Yeah.
but yeah, Fox really went in and they did all those reshoots. They forced Josh Trank to do that, and they put up that tweet that was like basically damning his own film, and then he deleted it right after that.
Right.
So the whole
You're
drama behind Fantastic should be a movie within itself. It'd be more interesting. Than
Actually, that would be really
documentary about it
interesting.
would be
I'd
more
love to
interesting.
see that.
It
The
would be.
one
It would be.
thing I wish
I would watch
either was
that.
in the original or should have been written into the like extra stuff was I was so waiting for the moment when they're testing out this transporter and they do the test the first time, which they test out for the first time with the chimpanzee, because you know that's
Oh.
how you do test the first time. You
Right.
automatically go chimpanzee.
Monkeys.
Right. Apes,
Monkeys.
yes. And so they put him in there, no suit or masks like they do for the people, like at all. Send him there and bring him back, and then he's done. And I was like, and the ape powers! And where is the evil ape? I want to see this. I want to see this.
If the ape was Dr.
trying to deal
Doom,
with
wouldn't that be phenomenal?
amazing. An Oscar-winning script.
Yeah.
Or anything.
And then he starts
He's a
Planet of the
scroll
Apes. He's
with a-
Caesar. It'll be great.
Yeah,
all these
it was
ideas
the
are better than
same-
Yeah.
It was the same animation as like the Burton like Planet of the Apes stuff too.
Okay.
The animation was not like good.
Well,
It was like old. Yeah. unnecessary.
Fantastic is what this came out 2014, I think.
15.
15 was it just last
I think
year?
it was 2015.
Wow.
Yeah,
It feels like forever ago, doesn't
Yeah.
it?
it really does.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Yeah,
Not gonna lie.
I don't
had
blame you guys.
No interest.
I
I,
mean,
even
that
saw it
might
at my
be-
library, and I was like, I could get that for free.
It was one of those things,
work?
though, that
They should have to pay you.
It's okay.
it was one of those things, though, that I watched and was like, I'm sort of intrigued by how terrible this is. Whereas the first one, the 2005 one, I was like, this is so lame and there's nothing new. Like this one, it was like new and shiny, but like not in a good way, but also it was new and shiny. So that alone, you were like, I kind of am gonna sit and watch it though. So like I legitimately had problems deciding which is
Right.
worse.
There are some interesting, like the character building stuff in Fantastic is like it's
Yeah,
like
in the
okay, it's
beginning,
like
I
a good
get
start.
It. But then they
Okay.
try to have like this rivalry between like Ben and Johnny like in the
Right.
last 2 seconds of the film, where he's like, hey, and you're like, nope, that
Yeah,
wasn't,
they
nope,
shoehorn
get out,
that in
stop,
there at
no,
the very last second.
no, absolutely
And
not.
they got the sky beam, the famous sky
Oh,
beam.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah,
and everything.
yeah,
Yeah.
Sky Game.
I always hear like it sounds so strange, but that the Roger Corman one, by far the silliest looking out of all of them, is the closest to a Fantastic Four movie. You know, because they actually go, they fight crime. It's the story. They look like the characters,
Right.
and I've seen it. It's pretty damn silly. You know, but I haven't seen the new one, and I did see the other Fantastic Four. I'm like, yeah, they don't seem to do anything. You know, so
mean-
that might be the best one. we
Go
got.
read some Jack Kirby, Stan Lee, Fantastic
Okay.
Four if you really want some like lighthearted, great Fantastic Four stuff, or go
Right.
watch The Incredibles because we're not getting a good Fantastic Four. Like we're not. We're just
They're
not.
trying. Fox is so stubborn. Like they're the most
Yeah.
stubborn company of all time
Right.
because they're still trying to make a Fantastic Four sequel to this, and they're just trying. They're just trying desperately
Good
to hold on
because
to this
it's
property.
like an hour
I was
and
gonna
15
say, that's
minutes,
really what
and
it
all
is.
we got was barely
No,
the
they
origin
need to give
story.
it up. They need to give it back to Marvel because
yeah.
because Daredevil went back to Marvel. We got the
Right.
amazing Netflix show,
Uh-huh.
right? I mean, like
Well,
Punisher
they don't
went back to
wanna lose
Marvel.
the
He's
cash
great in
cow.
Daredevil
They
as
think
well.
they can probably.
There's
do
no
some-
cash
there is-
cow if
That's
they-
true. If you're gonna make awful movies that
You're losing money.
even comic book fans won't see.
Right, yeah, right. And they
It
won't even
bombed
do-
hard.
They did.
It bombed because even comic book fans
Yeah, I
went,
didn't.
I'm
I was
not
like,
going to
no.
see that.
Right.
I see right through you. It's going to be terrible.
I didn't
And it
even want to
was.
watch the accident
Right.
unfold.
And Fox won't
Go
even-
watch it though. You
Fox-
you should.
I
Just-
should.
It's-
Yeah.
I mean,
Get it from the
it's
library
it's
for
boring,
freezies.
though. It's not
Drink
even.
some like nerdy beers and go.
It's not even so bad. It's good though. It's not. I don't think. I think it's just kind
Yeah,
of
it's
boring.
just dull
It's
and
dull,
gray
it's
and not
boring.
interesting to look
Yeah.
at.
Right.
yeah.
I do think it. I mean, there might be some like nostalgia critic type.
I'll get to it at
stuff
some
in-
point.
yeah.
Everyone's been asking me for it.
Right.
I'll
I
get
mean,
to it at some point.
There might be some good jokes you can do in there, but,
If you need a wig consultant,
Okay.
I am at your disposal.
seriously, just completely different. Yeah,
Just a different wig in every scene.
Exactly.
Shave goatee, have it back.
That's how it's literally how it is, and I was shocked. But anyway, okay, so those are some bad movies, guys. I think my movie might be worse because of the impact that it had on everything. So mine is Spider-Man 3. Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
In terms of the
that
impact?
was bad.
Yeah, we'll talk about it. So here, this is what I'm saying.
It got Sam Raimi off of the Spider-Man.
I liked the
Right,
first
you
Sam
liked the
Raimi
first one.
movie.
That was you did
I
that for your
loved-
favorite Marvel movie.
I
Yeah.
loved the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film from 2002. So like this was like the I don't even know how to say this. It was just
You're so disappointed.
bad.
You just want to cry.
it ended like, okay, everyone loves Spider-Man 2. Like everyone thinks Spider-Man 2 is like one of the best superhero movies ever. I just thought it was okay. I wasn't as into Spider-Man 2. So for me, it was like, whoa. All right. So yeah, Spider-Man 3 is everything bad about comic book movies in basically in one movie because they jammed so much into
so
one
much.
film. They got Venom, Sandman, the new Green Goblin, Gwen Stacy, all in one movie.
I kept forgetting Gwen Stacy was there. That's
Gwen
right. I
Stacy's
forgot
she
about
just pops up.
I
Gwen
so
Stacy.
remember the
Who
new
was
one.
she again?
Bryce Dallas Howard was
That's
Gwen Stacy.
right.
Yeah. So she's
and
just
she looks good as Gwen Stacy.
she looks like Gwen Stacy.
She
Yeah,
does.
she's got the blonde hair, rocking
Right.
the blonde hair and everything.
Right.
But I mean, she shows up just. She's a college friend of Peter Parker. She's not
Yeah.
She's not integral to the story at all.
I know. Oh, gosh,
They
I
bring in
so
Captain
hate
Stacy,
that.
played by the guy from Babe.
The pig? They got the pig?
Yes. No, whatever the farmer's
A little
name is.
Sebastian there.
Cromwell, thank you very much.
Cromwell is Captain Stacy. Captain Cromwell in this movie. And so they're trying to balance this new Gwen Stacy thing, which is sort of like a revenge thing with Peter against MJ because of how everything is. There's so much happening. Like it's hard for me to explain everything. So
Yeah.
we'll start with Venom. So Venom just pops up like they're on a web in Central Park and they're like, oh, we're so in love, Peter and MJ. And then there's just a little meteorite that hits the ground and it's Venom and Venom's in the movie. Okay.
Surprise!
Yeah, basically. And then it follows him back to the apartment and through that storyline it goes on Peter's suit and doesn't even bond to Peter himself. It
No,
goes
it
on one of
doesn't.
his suits.
So weird.
So he could take on and off Venom, so he's like addicted to Venom, so he puts on that black suit a lot. So it's very weird. And then it comes off of him and goes on to the perfect casting of Eddie Brock, Topher Grace. Wow. When I first heard that, I was just like, Topher Grace is going to be the guy from that 70s show, Eric Foreman? He's going to be Eddie Brock, the big Eddie Brock?
Right. But
He's
we've
gonna
been
be Eddie
pleasantly
Brock?
surprised in the past. So I
Right.
was like, okay, all right.
But
well,
this was
we'll see,
2007.
We'll see.
This was
We'll see.
before.
That's
This is
true.
pre Dark Knight. So I was like, no. Yeah. So that was bad. That was really bad. So he was ultimately pointless in this movie. Venom in general is just I have no idea why they shoehorned him in. I think that was I don't think that Sam Raimi wanted Venom in the movie. I think he just wanted to focus on
That's
the
always
Sandman
what I
story.
hear,
Yeah. So the studio forced Venom in there. But they should have changed stuff around. I mean, if they're gonna do Venom, go do Venom. Don't do Sandman. Which, okay, so Sandman, Thomas Hayden Church, I think was Sandman. Whew. Wow. Yeah. Throughout the entire movie, just they put in the thing with him and Uncle Ben, like he's the real killer of Uncle Ben. So they're all this is happening, and then they force in like, oh, remember that first thing you thought in the first Spider-Man movie? That didn't happen.
Yeah.
No, not at all. This was Sandman killed Uncle Ben. Okay, that's really exciting, isn't it? And
Right.
and it's about Peter trying to get revenge on him, and it's terrible. And then the thing that they wasted most, I think, is the new Green Goblin.
Yeah.
The thing with Harry Osborn and Peter was building up for 2 full movies, and that, at least in the second one, I wasn't that into the second movie, but that was the one thing I was like, all right, they're building up to some big confrontation.
Right,
And it
right.
happens in the first, 2 minutes, and then he's just nothing. And it's like,
Hey, he does some very nice paintings.
he does do some nice things.
And he smiles a lot.
I think he must have been on something.
I just love he's like just so happy. Just like, you know, it's not like, oh man, I'm gonna try, I'm gonna get through this. He's like, guys,
Yeah.
how are, oh, you're the best friends. I love you.
is.
I love you. Best friends. He's like so happy. I'm like, wait. You know, amnesia doesn't just make you the happiest person in the world.
Maybe
I've forgotten all the troubles the world has brought upon me.
Yeah.
Now, here's my question, because I completely understand anybody not liking this movie. I come from the camp of like they're all kind of goofy movies and silly, but there's some good stuff in them, and I'm like, okay, it was worth it for the good stuff. And when I saw 3, I kind of thought, well, okay, well here's again, there's some good stuff, because this is the first time I saw a Spider-Man movie where people gasped 3 times. One is when he almost lost the ring. Another is when Mary Jane kisses, what's the best friend? Yeah, kisses Harry. And then the other is when he actually hits Mary Jane. They're all Mary
was
Jane
a moment.
related,
That
which
was a
was
good moment.
interesting. And I said, wow, I've never seen that in a Spider-Man movie, and I can name even more scenes I love. I love when the Sandman comes to life. I think just don't even watch the film. Just that scene is an amazing scene. I mean, don't connect to anything. Just watch that scene, and it's just
Right.
phenomenal. I actually like the connection of Sandman with the daughter, and that he does have a little bit more of a purpose. I thought before he goes into tap dancing, I actually like sort of that giving into the dark side, and that was kind of an interesting,
Right.
pull. And even though Venom was mostly wasted, when I saw him, he was great. So it's one of those things where I'm like, wow, it has a lot of stupid stuff that I've seen in the other films, but it's like, I'm digging these cool scenes. That's always kind of what I got out of the other films. But everyone has the reaction you had. It's like, it's not only bad, it's the worst. It's the absolute worst.
Yeah, I
And I
it
always
so
say,
much.
but I guess what elevates the other 2, particularly the first one for you, above 3? Because the only thing I can really say that people just be like, what the hell, this is really separated from the others, is all the complicated, the million things going on. There's too much story, too much characters and stuff
Right.
like that.
It's
And
like
the
a
tap
whole
dancing,
season.
that's the other one.
It's
But-
like a whole season of a TV show in one movie. It's
Right.
crazy.
But I kind of felt like the second one had a lot of there were a lot of things going on
You're right,
and stuff
that's,
like
I
that
just thought
too.
the second one was okay. The first one is the one that I love. I love the first Spider-Man.
Was it the simplicity of the first one? Is that what
It
what
was-
drew you to that one?
It was. Well, I
supposedly?
think part of it is because it was 2002, so I was like 7th grade or something. So like I think part of it is like a nostalgic attachment to it. it. But I really think after going back as an adult and like really watching it, is that it has the goofy stuff that Spider-Man's supposed to be, and it's like a little campy here and there, but it has a lot of heart. Like the first Spider-Man movie has a ton of heart, and the third one, there's moments of it, there's glimpses of it, like when he's like hits Mary Jane, like that's a like holy crap moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's a great moment for like him to turn everything around and get back on the right path. But I think it's the wasted potential that these movies were building towards. Say what you know Will about the second one. A lot of people love that second one. The build-up of Peter and everything, and saying I'm not Spider-Man anymore. And at the end, he takes back the mantle and everything, and he's confidently Spider-Man. In the third one, he goes to Aunt May and like, Sandman's dead. Yeah, Spider-Man killed him. Yeah, I totally deserved it. Like, Peter would never say that, ever. And he didn't even have the Venom costume on at that point.
Well, he was just a dick.
Yeah, he was just like,
being a
Peter
dick.
would never. So
Yeah.
there's characters that are completely off. Things don't pay off. Everything that's built up just completely squandered. The Black Suit Spider-Man story is one of the greatest stories in all of comic
I
books.
agree. I would
and that
like to
is
see that done right.
wasted, completely wasted in this. And Venom, you said you liked him when he was on screen. I couldn't. I was like,
I didn't
my
like
spider sense is tingling if you know what I'm talking
Okay, no.
about.
We actually saw Venom like covered up.
Barely. He
No,
wasn't really on
No,
there
it's
that
true.
much.
You didn't see him that much.
Yeah.
You know, and something my brother brought up, I thought was a very good point. Again, there's a lot of problems with this movie and stuff, but he said, I really agree with him. He said, with each movie, you at least felt Parker was progressing.
Exactly.
You know, he was turning from a boy into a man with every movie, and this felt like a big step backwards,
Yes.
which I know is kind of the
He's
point. It's supposed to
so
be
whiny.
turning to
That's-
his
that's
dark
another
side and
thing I
stuff,
had
but
on
it felt
there.
like he was kind of becoming a boy again and kind of a whiny brat, and then, you know,
Yes.
sort of the dancing and stuff, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I mean,
Don't take the dancing away from me, okay?
no, the
Be my
dancing.
dancing.
I remember seeing that in theaters. I was like senior in high school, and when that happened, the whole can you get this, Jim? The whole this thing, yeah, and he just goes in hip thrusts and everything. When I saw that, I literally like my mouth like dropped.
Drops,
It's like,
yeah. Right.
no.
And I feel like some of the differences too that you're approaching it as a Spider-Man fan. You know,
Oh,
like
a huge Spider-Man fan.
I
so
feel
that's
like
another-
it was just so like the first movie
couldn't
was the first movie is not my favorite, but I understand the appeal because it feels like you said, a Spider-Man comic. It feels like a comic book. It's campy and fun, and that's the way I felt like it related to the comics that way.
Sincere moments. In that one.
Yes, exactly. But then the third one was just so detached from that.
Yeah, it didn't feel like it fit in really. A
It
couple
didn't.
moments did. There's a couple
Right.
glimpses, but
Right.
not really overall.
And like you said, some of the characters were just so disappointing.
Yeah.
Like Venom was so disappointing, and I love Gwen Stacy, and she was so disappointing in that
Wasted.
movie. It's like, all right, well,
Yeah, and I
There
feel
it
like
is.
you know, it's kind of my same problem with X-Men 3, which is another one, which is like, okay, I can't
people hate
I can't
Yeah.
defend it,
Yeah.
but I defend a lot of good things in it, and I feel like if those things built to something, because Spider-Man 3 is supposed to be darker, it's supposed to be a little harsher, and so it's like, well, okay, we're not gonna get as many of the touching moments. I get that, but it has to go somewhere, and
Yeah.
I'm thinking like with Mary Jane, I thought there was a lot more attention on Mary Jane in this one. She has actually become a little bit more interesting because now you saw she was kind of being pushed to the shadows, and where she was the support, now she needs the support and she can't
That's-
get it. And that
right.
was interesting. What they do, they hang her out of the building
Exactly.
again, and they
That's-
make
that's
her
what Kirsten
they
Dunst
make
was
her a
upset
plot.
with.
Yeah, they make a plot point of her like breaking up with him, you know, or being forced to, and that made no sense. And
Yeah.
why didn't they just get back together after he even knew, you know? And so it sort of felt like there's a million ways around this, but there's good, like I said, there's good elements there, and maybe that is just the ultimate disappointment is that where with the other films, even though there's corny stuff, the seeds are sort of planted there, and they're allowed to grow enough. They grow a little weird, a little bit, but they grow. And with the third one, it's like the seeds are planted, but they never quite grow. If anything, they sort of go backwards.
Exactly. With Peter, even from the beginning, I don't know what, maybe it was Sam Raimi's direction or something, but from the very beginning, Peter was off. Like,
Yes.
Tobey Maguire was playing up these weird moments where it felt like he was trying to be obnoxious, and I don't understand why he would do that. Because at this point, you
Sure, it's
feel-
not just Tobey Maguire.
No, I really don't.
he was
Because
genuinely an annoying
in the
character.
first and second movie, they built up those things. And there's little like jokey moments, you know, like the raindrops are falling on my head scene too. I mean, that fits with the tone of that scene. But in the third one, you're like on his side, and then he goes to the MJ's play, and
Yeah.
he's like sitting and he's like singing along with her, and he's like. And it looks like he's trying really hard.
That face was amazing.
That's what he does. He's singing along. Everything is wonderful. And he's like literally singing along like that. And there's other moments like that even before he gets the black suit. I think maybe they're trying to play up that he's getting a little cocky or something.
Yeah.
But it's to the point where he's not relatable, and we don't like him from the beginning. We should have not liked him after he got the black suit,
Right.
like Spider-Man, where Venom is affecting him. That's when we shouldn't have liked him. And then he gets his way back. But from the beginning, he's just overly obnoxious. And then with the dance scene, yeah, that's when I
You were done.
buried my head in the sand and tried
Flipping
to
your
forget
popcorn
about
over.
it. Yes.
You know, the one thing I'm kind of curious, because we were talking about, us growing up with, you were talking about growing up with Batman, Robin, you were
Right.
little kids. I liked when I was a little
Loved
kid,
it
stuff like
growing
that.
up.
I remember when I saw this
Absolutely.
movie, there was a little kid in front of me, and after he, I forget if he blew up Sandman or blew up his best friend, he blew up somebody. And,
When Stacy blew up.
Yeah, Sandman's dead. Yeah, Spider-Man killed him.
And this little kid turned to her mom and just said, "Is that good?" I
See?
don't know. No, but see, I thought that was interesting. Like she didn't know, because this is him. Because both times where he does that, it's bad. You're not supposed to. Like he's turning to the dark side. And I like that she was kind of conflicted by that. She was torn. So I'm curious to see, because this is still kind of, I don't know how many people grown up since seeing it, but I mean, like, I'd be curious to see how kids react growing up to that and what impact it leaves. Is it something where it's like, no, actually that scene really challenged some things with me, or is it like, no, that was crap? Like, a lot of us see it as crap.
Right. So maybe kids might like it when they're. I mean, it looks cool because, and the advertisement and the trailers were all great for this movie.
Yeah.
I mean, you get to see Venom live action. You get to see the black suit Spider-Man. I
Right.
mean, I grew up with the Fox Kids cartoon on Fox Kids from the '90s, and I was a huge fan of that show. And they really did that black suit Spider-Man.
They did that well,
They did
yeah,
it
they did
so
do that well.
well.
And they had the dream sequence. That's one of the biggest things I was missing
Oh,
from the movie.
when
Sam
they were
Raimi
fighting?
doing a dream sequence.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you love to have seen him
Oh, it would have been so
do
cool.
that?
It would have been
Yeah.
so cool. You're right. So, yeah, I agree with all that. Maybe there's some kids who like the movie. I mean, just superficially at least. I mean, you get to see Black Suit Spider-Man, so I mean, maybe there's something to it. One more reason I wanted to say, because I was really close to picking Batman and Robin as well.
Yeah.
But I thought about it, and I was like, Batman and Robin, it got so bad. It's like a sports team. They get so bad, and they get a good first-round draft pick, and they get to rebuild and everything. So Batman and Robin was so bad that they rebooted everything, and we got the Nolan movies from it. So and they were like, oh, people aren't liking this. It's time to get back to the roots of this dark Batman, and that's when they brought Nolan in. We got Batman Begins in 2005. So and we got Dark Knight from that. So I mean.
I stand by those ice puns still.
That's ice of you.
Let's kick some ice. Yeah, there you go.
Send me your ice puns in the comments down below.
Exactly.
Seriously, do it. I love that.
I would love to see those too.
More ice puns, please.
Always.
With this movie, I think that put it over the top for me for picking it as worst comic book movie is because they were supposed to make Spider-Man 4. I remember them talking. I remember Tobey Maguire going on Conan O'Brien and saying he announced it like that was like the big announcement, and they were starting to work on the script and everything. And I was like, okay, they could redeem themselves. I mean, I think Sam Raimi is a good enough filmmaker where he could recognize his mistakes, and he admitted that the third one wasn't as good, and the studio basically forced Venom on him. So they're going to go back to basics, sort of make Spider-Man 4, good. And then they canceled it and they rebooted everything because Spider-Man 3 went so off the rails. And now, they did the Amazing Spider-Man movies, which I like for the most part. I know 2 a lot of people don't really like. And then they rebooted it again with Tom Holland. So I think it started sort of the downfall of a main continuity for Spider-Man. And I still love the first Spider-Man movie. So I wish that story could have kept going. They could have made like 10 movies out of this. And they, this destroyed that for me.
So it's
Personal.
Sometimes the studios can just let the movies exist and stop trying to put their hands in everything.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and that's one of
Exactly.
the reasons I almost chose Green Lantern, because it's got that disappointment associated with it. I mean, I guess we got the animated series out of it, so I guess that's
Yeah,
still good,
the
but-
animated
don't like
series
that,
isn't
that's
bad.
good.
I think Green Lantern isn't as bad as most people think. That's just my perspective on it. I mean,
It's the disappointment that I
right.
have
No,
associated
totally,
with it.
totally
like,
disappointing movie.
I know our honorable mention today was Porter's pick because he's not here today.
Well, he wants to talk about. I was gonna.
Oh,
There's going to be a Facebook exclusive going up later this week. One of them, because we're going to have a few, I think.
I think we're all on board with that
So,
as a terrible movie.
yeah, Porter, this is a bad one. Porter wanted to tear it to shreds. He couldn't be here today. He was going to,
There you
and
go.
something came up. So
This is a wonderfully, definitely, it's, yeah.
you want to hear his thoughts on this because he hates this movie.
With so much passion.
Yeah, you want to hear him. So make sure you
I
like our
might
Facebook
have
page.
watched a leak of said movie back when that was leaked
I
online.
did too.
It was amazing. It was so cool to watch.
All right, well, that was
Facebook.
Hey, I want to get in that. Just had to get my own.
Okay.
Does anybody have a pick of the week that we can talk about really quick? Doug?
I don't have it here, but
picture?
picture. There it is, wherever it is. It is the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles graphic novel, which is great to read at any age, because if you read it as a little kid, you're like, oh my God, Ninja Turtles are bloody and gory and violent. This is so good. This is the adult Ninja Turtles. And as you get older, you're like, wait a minute, this is kind of ridiculous. Like, this is really, really ridiculous. And then as you get even older, you're like, this is ridiculous. This is really, really ridiculous, and I love it. And I sort of didn't know, because people always said it was a comedy, and I didn't get that. I was like, but this seems so heavy and serious. And then looking back at the comics at that time, sort of like the Frank Miller, Sin City, and stuff like that, it was sort of playing to those extremes and just going all out in how extreme you can make the violence and the idea and the title and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun if you just imagine them all talking like this. And they all got the red bandana. You can't even tell them apart from the weapons. They all got the red bandanas and the no eyes and stuff like that. And it's a lot of fun because it's cool seeing where these characters came from, but it's also cool seeing this completely different style that was meant for something very different and very strange and I guess adult. It's kind of like how, it's almost like how adult it is and how childish it is and vice versa. So it's definitely a fun comic to check out, the first collection especially.
Cool. Anna, you had something?
Like I said, go read some older Fantastic Four. I know if you like Doctor Doom, Mark Waid has a good run of some like pretty dark Doctor Doom moments. Marvel Knights has good 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty dark if you liked the tone of the newest one. If you want to read a darker Fantastic Four, I'd go read that. Otherwise, go read some Squirrel Girl because she beats up Doctor Doom and it's amazing. Squirrel Girl beats up the Marvel Universe. Go check it out.
Undefeated Squirrel Girl.
Any time to read Squirrel Girl is a good time to read Squirrel Girl. Just do it.
Cool.
Just read more Squirrel Girl.
Before we go to the outro here, I just want to mention one of the other bad things in Spider-Man 3 was Kirsten Dunst's singing. That was terrible. Anyway, okay.
Was it her? Or was
Oh,
it
it was
It was
her.
really her.
It was really her.
It was her.
I
Everything
want
is
it.
wonderful. Yeah, it was terrible. It was awful. Okay, anyway, where can we find you guys on social media?
You can find me on Twitter at Heather Roos or Instagram at Roos.
All right, Doug?
Find me at Facebook here. See?
Nice.
Again, I'll see what I got to do there.
Thanks.
Facebook, Twitter, and I am now on Snapchat.
What's your handle?
Awesome Ayana.
Okay, cool.
At Snapchat. I don't think there's an underscore. I think it's just Awesome Ayana.
It is.
Okay.
It is.
I
it
follow
is.
you, it is.
Heather follows me. This week
I'm an
I
Ayana
went
fan.
to a fabric store and got some stuff for a video that might be coming out soon. So stay tuned.
That's going to be exciting.
Very fun.
Follow me at awesome_Walter. I don't have anything that exciting going on, but follow
He
me for some
retweets
stuff on
me,
there.
so
I do retweet most of her stuff, so through me, you can see her stuff. Fantastic.
if you don't really want to follow me,
That's too much work. I'll just follow Walter.
Yeah, there you go. Make sure to like our Facebook page, facebook.com/awesomecomicshow. We'll have a couple of Facebook exclusives, and make sure you go check out Porter's worst comic book movie.
Yes.
He's gonna rant. It's something you're not gonna want to miss. Seriously, you're gonna want to hear him talk about this.
let us know in the comments down below what your
Yeah.
least favorite comic book movie is.
Because there's a lot of bad ones out there.
There's
We
plenty.
did a couple of honorable mentions.
This was rough.
Yeah.
This was a rough
Yeah.
choice.
Yeah, exactly. So let us know what yours are. Next week, we're going to be doing, we'll announce it here, top 10 episodes of Batman Beyond.
Yes!
So come back for that. I think you guys are going to enjoy that. All right, so for everybody here, I am Walter Bernasiak, and we'll see you on the next page.